Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ryan and welcome to the official test review for Hijomeatman News. And if you're wondering, Ryan, why is there a blank box next to you? Unfortunately, James is ill, so cannot make it with us, but he gave me a couple of things that he would like me to say on behalf of him. So we've got a few topics to talk about. As you can see, the topics for this video is just down at the bottom right. So without further ado, let's get straight into the development and aero things that we saw throughout the 3 days. Now, to start off, we saw the wings, the new wings, the spoon curves at the side of Valentino Rossi's and Maverick Vinales' Yamaha. Now, what they do, we don't know. It's exactly the same as the wings. We don't know if the benefit, the worst, the whatever. So, over the next few tests, and especially when the season kicks off, it'll be interesting to see how many people develop different sort of aero and what work better than others. So it's definitely a race in the aerodynamic part of the project, if you like. Whoever gets there first might be in a little bit of danger because, you know, Ducati could be sat there watching, okay, Yamaha's got this, Honda's brought this at Australia. Right, okay, we'll bring up this and make this big magic fairing that is, like, going to smoke everyone out. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, there's an image just down under my face of that new aerodynamic part on the fairing. So let us know down in the comments what you think about that and whether or not you think it will be beneficial to the new M1. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is something that Michele Pirro, the Ducati test rider, tested in the test on Tuesday. He ran a carbon front fork. Now, the benefits of that, you can only assume, is weight. Now, metal forks are heavy, carbon forks are not, because carbon is a lot lighter than metal. So I can only assume that it's going to be for weight limit, you know, to make it faster. But at the same time, it's providing less weight to the front, which is what the wings were for, to give more weight to the front. So they've removed the wings, they've put in a carbon fork, which means the front is going to be even lighter than normal. So I don't know, there's benefits and there's the drawbacks from that, but obviously Öhlins and Ducati know what they're doing. They're obviously, Öhlins are putting all their trust and faith in Ducati to test this new part, and we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, Aprilia, let's talk about them. They had a great end to the season. Obviously, again, the same thing as Yamaha. They are designing a new fairing slash frame, and at the moment it's not being out on track, I do not believe. I believe it was present at the Sepang test, a prototype version of it, not the official real thing. I do believe it was present at the Sepang test, but I'm not sure if they did run it, because there was some pictures leaked of this new funky looking frame or chassis of the bike. And basically what that is going to do is recreate 60% of the wings like use. So it won't give it the full 100%, but it will give it the same effect, 60% of the winged effect on that frame, which is better than having no effect at all. So it'll be interesting to see at Australia if the shape of that Aprilia changes. Check out our Instagram to keep up to date on the photos, and you'll be able to spot the difference for us and help us out if we miss anything. Another thing that we want to talk about is a Suzuki new engine and chassis. Now, the new engine for Suzuki has been ran at Sepang, and it is meant to be as quick as the Ducati. Now, I think Iannone hit 339. I'm not sure if it was 329 or 339 kilometers an hour, and that is not hanging about. I'm not sure what the official record for that straight line speed is, like officially. All I know is that estimated time was about 300 and something kilometers an hour, which is absolutely flying. And I'm not sure what the official record is for the straight line speed at the Sepang International Circuit. So very, very quick. And that Suzuki definitely looks like a better package this year in general. More top speed, looks even better in the corners. Iannone definitely looking great on it, making it look very, very angry into corners, coming in sideways, etc, etc. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Iannone and the Suzuki squad can do, and see if Alex Rins as well, see what he can do on that bike. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is the KTM. Now, that package has got top end speed. That package is all about top end speed, and what they're struggling to do is to convert that speed into pace. So they've tried the new swing arm and new chassis to try and draw the power down to the ground to make the most of the power that they've got and get the lap time. So KTM, I think they had 3 swing arms. Bradley Smith tested 1, Paulus Begara tested 2, and then Bradley Smith tested the chassis on the first day, and then they all kind of mixed about and just do their own programs. And then on the third day, as we'll move on to later, they kind of did the same test package and ended up with exactly the same lap time. So that's pretty much it for the development. The one thing that I will slightly mention, I didn't want to go too much into it, so I didn't put it on the topic list, just because I covered a bit of it in the Sepang private test, link in the description to that. And that was a salad box. Now, Lorenzo spent most of the time out on circuit without that box on the back of the Ducati. However, Michele Pirro, he was out there a few times with the salad box in slightly different angles. So I'm not sure whether they were testing something, but the photos that I saw throughout the day, the salad box looked a little bit different every time. So I don't know, they're experimenting with something, whatever that salad box may be. So KTM, definitely a very strong package, and definitely think that they will be up there next season to definitely deliver some points paying position. Now, through the Motogp 2016 class in Moto 2, we had some great riders, including Zarco, Folger, Rins and Lowe's, who just happened to be the brand new Motogp 2017 rookies, and we're just going to quickly run through them. So in the Tech 3 squad, we have Johan Zarco and Jonas Folger. Now, they both had their first test in Valencia, and it went pretty well, and we'll move on to their performances over the last couple of days in just a second. In the Suzuki squad, you have Andrea Iannone and then the rookie Alex Rins. And Rins will definitely benefit with a team like Iannone. Fast, aggressive, all-round a great rider. Definitely going to be beneficial to him. And the final rookie is Sam Lowes on board the Aprilia. So, yeah, very interesting to see how these rookies can do. I'm going to go through the times of the rookies on how much they improved and their performance in general, and we're going to start with who I think was the best rider throughout the 3 days of the rookie class, and that is Johan Zarco. He finished the first day in P14 with a time of a 2 minutes 1.224, which was not bad for saying that was his first time out on the Tech 3 bike. However, he chipped away P5 on day 2, I'm getting that mixed up. He finished in P5, like I said, 2 minutes 343, solid lap time. Day 3, he ended the day in P10, but he got inside the 159.772. That was just a tenth shy of Casey Stoner's fastest time on day 1. So overall, a great improvement for Johan Zarco. His teammate now, the German Jonas Folger, day 1, he ended in P7, 2 minutes 0.6. Day 2, P9, 2 minutes 0.4. Day 3, P15, 2 minutes 0.3. So you see, Folger's very consistent throughout the 3 days, which is okay. However, Zarco, as you can see, he's chipped the most lap time. He's gone from 2 minutes 1 to 1 minute 59. So you can see he's chipped the most away. Folger's chipped 3/10 off his time, whereas Zarco's chipped 1 or 2 seconds. So Zarco, for me, he's definitely done more. He's beneficial, and he definitely will probably outperform Folger in the first part of the season. But it's too early to go off anything off that set of times there. Now, moving on to the other rookie, the Spaniard Alex Rins. Now, Alex had that crash in Valencia and damaged the back of his body after crashing at turn 12. I want to say turn 12. I'm not quite sure. It was the right just before that long left that leads into the final corner, and unfortunately he had a huge crash there, as did his teammate Andrea Iannone. And unfortunately for him, he had to sit out the rest of the test. But he's back in Sepang, and his results weren't too bad. They weren't too bad at all, to be honest. Alex Rins ended the first day in P20 with a 2 minutes 1.8. Day 2, he ended P13 with a 2 minutes 0.8. That's a second faster than what he did the day before. Day 3, he ended in P12, a 2 minutes flat 0.057. So a solid day for Alex Rins, on that final day, improved by 8/10 from the day before on day 2, improved by a second, overall 1.8. He shedded off his lap time from day 1 to day 3, which is a solid result for the Spaniard. Sam Lowes then, not a bad 3 days, could have been a lot better, but we're going to just quickly run through his lap times at the end of the 3 days. So his fastest on day 1 was a 2 minutes 2.943. That had him in 26th position. And then day 2 and day 3 he finished in P22. Funny enough, that's his number. Day 2 he set a time of a 2 minutes 2.058. And day 3 a 2 minutes 1.341. So 7/10 off that time in between day 2 and day 3. So overall, a very solid day for all the rookies, and hopefully next year in the official Grand Prix all them rookies can score some points. Now moving on to the combined standings throughout the 3 days. Now Maverick Vinales, Top Gun Mac on board the Movistar Yamaha, he was unstoppable with a time of a 59.368, a 1:59.368. I'm not going to be surprised if we see a 1:58 in the actual weekend next year if we get that dry weather, because Maverick Vinales was absolutely flying. He ended that day, like I said, on top, and let's hear what he had to say about his new YZR M1.
No, today we worked good. I'm so happy because we worked for the race pace. Finally, at the end, I tried to, with the race tire, to do consistency laps, and honestly the lap time were quite fast. Honestly, I'm quite surprised the bike is working good. From the issues we have on the grip, we are improving every time more, and you know, we are focused on riding on the used tire, so I'm quite happy.
Andrea Iannone ended the second day on top, but ended the whole test in second overall, a 1 minute 59.452, just 84 thousandths of a second behind his nearest rival Maverick Vinales. So again, overall a very solid day for Suzuki. That new engine, the new chassis, etc, etc, is definitely working wonders for the Team Suzuki X-Star squad, and I do feel like Andrea Iannone will definitely be a fighter next season. Jamie, very impressed with his performance. He says, yeah, overall he did very well, lap time was solid, you've got to watch out for him next year. And I wonder what Iannone has to say about his 3 days.
Today we improved a lot in the race pace, and I'm very happy. Improve also a little bit the feeling with the bike, the setting. We work a little bit in front because yesterday I have small problems, small vibration with the braking, with the brake in the slow corner, and today we improve a little bit in this area. In general, I'm very happy.
In third position, it was the first of the Repsol Honda squads, and it was Marc Marquez. Now, the Spaniard had a bit of a trouble with day 2. He had the breakdown and a couple of other issues throughout the day, which was definitely not beneficial for him. It definitely set them back a little bit. However, on day 3, he got a 59.5 in, which was a 10th down on Maverick Vinales' fastest time. And overall, it was okay 3 days. They tested a couple of things. However, one thing that Marquez did underline was the acceleration out of corners, which you kind of think was be Honda's strongest point. You look at Kota, you look at other tracks with slow hairpins onto long straights, which, for example, maybe Qatar, the final corner with the slowish hairpin onto that long front straight. And it was interesting to hear what Marquez had to say. So let's go down and hear to him now.
Yeah, finally today was not our day. we had many problems during the day. We start late like everybody because it was wet the track, but then we had a problem. We wait a lot of time on the pits. Then again I go out with the other bike. We had another problem. I stay on the pits again a long time. But okay, it's the pre-season. It's better to have the problems now. But of course this takes time to find the best setup. Still we are working with the same setup like yesterday we start, because we didn't have time with all new parts. But tomorrow, if the weather is okay, we will try to concentrate more to improve.
Andrea Dovizioso ended the 3 days in P4, the top Ducati. Very good day for Ducati overall on day 3, getting all of their bikes on the improvement list, I do believe. No, Michele Pirro did not improve on day 3. But Dovi, the first Ducati race rider, if you like, he ended in P4, like I said, a 59.553, just 47 thousandths of a second shy on Marc Marquez. Danny Pedrosa was in 5th position on the Repsol Honda team, a 59.578, 25 thousandths of a second behind Andrea Dovizioso. Now with Dr. Valentino Rossi, he ended the day in P6. Decent day overall on the 3rd day. Like I said earlier, he tested that new fairing with the outsided fairing, like spoony looking thing where the air goes in and acts as wings. It's all very interesting. He ended his sessions with a 59.589, just 11 thousandths of a second behind Danny Pedrosa, who beat him in the Misano Grand Prix. So let's go down and hear what Valentino Rossi had to say about his appointment with his new M1.
At the end, I'm quite happy. It was a good test because my lap time was okay. 59.5 something is not so bad, and we are all very close on the top. But in general, the feeling with the bike is positive, and also today we find something interesting for improve. So at the end, it was a difficult test because very long, but we find something positive.
A great ride from Alvaro Bautista throughout the 3 days. Saw him in 7th with a time of a 1 minute 59.628, 39 thousandths of a second behind Valentino Rossi. On board the Pull&Bear Aspar team. It was a very, very good day for Alvaro Bautista. Very excited to see what he can do next season aboard that bike. Definitely going to be inside the top 10 if I'm honest with you. He's going to be fighting every single race for a top 10, maybe even a podium every now and then. So really looking forward to see what the young Spaniard can do. Casey Stoner, the Ducati test rider, the Australian, topping the first day of the test. He ended the whole 3 days testing schedule in P8 of a 159.639, 11 thousandths of a second behind his fellow Ducati rider Alvaro Bautista, just 0.271 behind Maverick Vinales after the 3 days. And it was believed that on the final day, Casey Stoner had a couple of chassis tests to just polish over and just rerun and a few things. So I'm not sure Casey went for that fastest lap on the final day of testing. However, his fastest lap was on the final day of testing. So I do feel like he could have been able to go for Vinales' time if he hadn't have had to do these couple of tests. But overall, a great day for Casey Stoner. Now, Cal Crutchlow ended the day in 9th on board that LCR Honda, and there was much speculation at the start of the season that the LCR Honda was going to be LCR Suzuki or something along those lines. However, at the end of winter, we found out that it was LCR Honda. So let's go down and hear what the Honda rider had to say about his 3 days of testing.
A long day on the newer spec engine. And it was quite positive, you know. It was more positive than yesterday. We never found some things. We were able to probably learn how to ride the bike. Me, Mark, and Danny, as you saw, we make a not too bad jump in the lap time, and our rhythm is quite good. So yeah, we are happy enough in the moment, but we have a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that, and I still think we are quite on the back foot.
Jorge Lorenzo on board the Ducati ended the 3 days in 10th position. 3 tenths, just shy of 4 tenths, so 0.399 to be exact, behind Maverick Vinales' time of a 59.368. Jorge Lorenzo put in a time of a 159.767. Not bad lap. However, he's 2 tenths behind his teammate Andrea Dovizioso, so definitely is still a small chunk of time to knock off the lap time there. But Lorenzo highlighted his main issue. Ducati's weak point is Lorenzo's strong point. Now, throughout the years at Yamaha, you'd always notice that Jorge Lorenzo would always break deep into the corner. He'd carry a lot more speed through the middle of the corner, get on the throttle earlier, etc, etc. Ducati's not like that. Ducati's completely opposite, and that's where Lorenzo's losing his time, under braking, which is quite scary for him. However, throughout the 3 days, he improved He knocked 7 tenths off his lap today. So overall, it was a great day for him. So let's go down and hear what the new Ducati rider had to say about his GP17.
Yes, another great day for us. Position is not fantastic, but again, big improvement in the lap time. In the understanding of the bike, and every time I feel the bike better and better and more mine, and I can push more and be faster. We try something. Also, we tried a new bike. We made a simulation with a new bike, even if we didn't adjust the bike because just made 2 runs, one small run and then the simulation. So the bike was not perfect, was not adjusted very well. But anyway, good thing to make a lot of laps in a row and to understand many things, no?
The first of the rookie, like I mentioned earlier, was number 5, the Frenchman Johan Zarco on board Tech 3 bike of a 1:59.772, only 5 thousandths of a second behind Jorge Lorenzo. You heard me right, 5 thousandths of a second, a rookie. So an absolutely incredible day from him. So overall, like I said, the rookies, very, 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 very well indeed. But it also helped that they had all the wet weather, the dry weather and everything to get themselves familiar with every single condition and how the bike works in every condition. So overall, a solid day for the Frenchman. Let's hear what he had to say about his first test in Sepang aboard the Yamaha.
I feel very happy because the first day has been hard, and I could feel that the winter was long, and I've lost some race feeling. But on the second day I got it back, and this already makes me happy, and I could work then better with the team. So end of second day has been very positive, and third day we used the morning and good temperature to try to do better lap time, and doing a good job I could improve the lap time, and in the end I could what was the plan to do, like almost a race simulation or use tires until the race distance and see my feeling, and I could relax myself on the bike, and step by step we have been constant with good lap time. So I'm very positive, but think that now we must go on another track, Australia, and learn again all new. I think for me every track will be like new with the Motogp, so I want to take it with always with calm and be happy about what I'm doing.
Alex Rins ended the day in P12, being the second rookie, which is a bit of a surprise for me. I thought Jonas Folger would have been maybe even the top rookie Folger, but no, it was Alex Rins who ended the day in P12 with a Team Suzuki X-Star Suzuki setting a time of a 2:0.057. So overall, not a bad lap time from the young Spaniard. He set that time 6 tenths shy of Maverick Vinales and 2 tenths shy of fellow rookie Johan Zarco. So let's hear what Alex had to say about his first 3 days aboard that new Suzuki, fresh from his injury that he sustained back in Valencia.
Yeah, my feelings are very, very good, no? Finally, I think that this is my first completely day on the MotoGP bike. So I'm happy, no? Because I'm getting experience lap by lap. I go more fast, no? And this is important. We are working on make laps, no? Trying to get the confidence for be fast, no? And for tomorrow, I think that we wanna try the new bike, the 2017 bike, and trying to keep focus on this bike.
Aleix Espargaro was next up in P13 with a 2:0.108 with Danilo Petrucci. A big surprise for both me and Jamie. We definitely thought the Octo Pramac rider would have been up there. However, he wasn't really on that GP17. We're looking at 1:59s from the other two GP17 riders. Unfortunately, Petrucci 2:0.312. Both of them riders, Aleix Espargaro and Danilo Petrucci, both having a crash in the over the couple of days. I think Espargaro on the Aprilia had 2 or 3 crashes. Petrucci, I think, only had 1 throughout this the 3 days. Jonas Folger, the next rookie in P15, as I mentioned, a 2 minutes .3. Overall, a solid lap. Inside a second of Maverick Vinales' time. You've got to be happy with that. Let's go down and see how happy he is. It's Jonas Folger talking to MotoGP.com.
Today it was more to get already again to that limit that we had on the last test, and then to continue work. So we arrived quite to a similar lap time that we had here on the last test. So now it's time that we try different things on the bike, which we tried, but then it was starting to raining. But anyway, I was out on the first time on the rain also. It was quite important for us, and we have a good feeling in both conditions.
Hector Barbara was next, and despite his crash on the 3rd day, he still could not improve the time in the morning. So unfortunately for him, he ended the day in P16 on the Reale Esponsorama Racing. I have no idea what that means, but it's that new bike. It was meant to be a Vintia. Could have sworn it was a Vintia, but unfortunately it's not. It's a Reale Esponsorama, which maybe means insert sponsor here. We don't know. I don't know what that says. But yeah, the Ducati rider on the GP16, I do believe, he ended the day with a 2 minutes .3, and again, just like his fellow MotoGP rider Jonas Folger, inside the second bracket of the top time. Now then, the Assen winner on the Team Estrella Galicia 00 Mark VDS Honda badass jackass, Jack Miller. He ended the day in 17th position ahead of Carol Abraham, Scott Redding, Loris Baz. They were rounding out the top 20 with very similar times, to be honest, of a 2 minute .439 from Jack, a 2 minute .445 from Carol, a 2 minute .645 from Scott, and a 2 minutes .873 from Loris Baz. Now, moving on now to a brand new team in the motorsport. If you do not know that this new team is entered the MotoGP, then please go check out the documentary that Jamie put together with partnership with KTM. Go check that out down in the description. And it was overall a good day for the squad. Now, Paul Espargaro and Bradley Smith both ended the 3 days in 21st and 22nd position, both setting identical lap times. Now, Paul Espargaro's lap time was set in session 1, whereas Bradley Smith's lap time was set in session 3, and that was a 2 minutes .338. So overall, a very good day for the new KTM Austrian team. So let's hear what the new factory Red Bull KTM Racing riders had to say at the end of the 3 days.
Yeah, well, obviously it was good that we got a full day of riding today. Certainly made more progress, which I was very happy with. Everyone seemed to be more up to pace. Also today earlier on the lap times were already quite good, so the track was in good condition. I felt that we made some clear improvements with the bike, and both riders, both myself and Paul, kind of worked in a similar direction today. So that was nice that with the same bike we're doing a similar lap time, which obviously helps with the development. We have clear things that we need to improve, but then other things that I've seen compared to other riders and other manufacturers that we're actually really strong at. So yeah, I think we can take a lot of positives from the work that we've done. To only be 1.9 seconds off off the fastest guy here at Sepang, one of the longest tracks, and at our first test of 2017, I think that KTM's done a great job.
Yeah, well, we test a lot of things, we test a lot of new pieces, and feels better to finish because it was so tough during these 3 days after not jumping on the bike till November after Valencia, and physical conditions are quite tired, but anyway, it feels good to finish because KTM have worked really good, all the team, all the staff, to improve these days with the new pieces, to try to be as fast as we can, because the rain was coming and going away, and I think at the end we get a good package. All the team is happy, and
maybe we could improve a little bit the lap time, but by the end, the last day was not, just the lap time, and we needed to try a lot of things. So at the end, happy.
Sam Lowes ended the day in P23 with Aprilia Racing Team Rossini setting that 2 minutes 1.341, 1.973 seconds behind Maverick Vinales' time, only 3 seconds behind, 3 thousandths of a second behind fellow Brit Bradley Smith. So very, very solid first test for him. He's just inside that 2 second bracket, which for your first time as a rookie, I'd be quite happy with being sat inside that 2 second bracket of Maverick Vinales, probably the best rider out there at the moment. So overall, very good day for Sam. Maybe would have liked a bit more just to get inside that top 20, but at the end of the day, what can you do? You can only do what you can do.
No, it was good. We improved again the lap time by quite a big step. We're less than 2 seconds from the front. If you look at the first day, we was over 3 seconds. So yeah, we've improved a lot. We keep going in the right direction. I did a race run this afternoon, which is a new experience on a Motogp bike. Sepang's always difficult to do long run, and to get it done here was quite nice. It gave me a lot of experience, and yeah, we didn't really go for another time at the end of the day. We just sort of left it there because 3 days, no big mistakes, no crashes. So we've got to keep building up, and it's going in the right direction. There's still 6 good days before the Qatar race, and I think if we keep working like this and keep improving, then we're going to be in a good position by then.
Now, a bit of a shock from me and Jamie was the second Ducati test rider, Michele Pirro, number 51, the Italian. Not sure what he's doing down in 24th position, but he is. He ended the 3 days actually with his fastest lap being set on day 2 of a 2 minutes 1.382. Now, Michele Pirro was there for testing, whereas Lorenzo and Dovi were going to see how fast they can go. The test riders were there for test rider purposes, testing new frames, chassis, swing arms, etc, etc. So maybe Pirro was under strict testing orders just to go out, do laps, come in, evaluate, go back out, do laps, come in, evaluate, and not really go for that constant fastest lap. So I'm not quite sure what exactly was going on there, but very unusual to see Michele Pirro outside the top 20 on the new GP17. Now, in 25th, 26th and 27th was all the test riders for Yamaha, Suzuki and Yamaha again. On the Yamaha factory test team, it was Katsuki Nakasuga, the Japanese rider, who set a time of a 2 minutes 1.658, just outside the fastest time of his semi-teammate Maverick Vinales. In 26th, it was Takuya Tsuda, the fellow other Japanese rider, who was riding the Suzuki test team. He set a time of 2 minutes 1.812, and then it was Kuata Nozane, no idea. Japanese rider finished in P27 on that Yamaha once again as a 2 minutes 2.187 lap time. And now you may be wondering, you have not mentioned Tito Rabat, Ryan. Where was he? Now, unfortunately for Tito Rabat, he ended the 3 days in last position because he had a very, very nasty crash on the second day of testing. Now, I do have an article that I've just loaded up here about Tito Rabat, and it was a very, very nasty sounding incident. So I'm just going to read through you the result that's on motorsport.com. Mark VDS Honda, Tito Rabat ride. That does not make sense. Mark VDS Honda rider Tito Rabat will undergo surgery after crashing on the second day of the pre-season test and will sit out obviously on Wednesday. The Spaniard was involved in a heavy incident that brought out the red flag with little over an hour left on the second day of testing at the Sepang International Circuit. Rabat slid on the ground at turn 11 of the Malaysian track, his levers actually tearing up around the left knee area, which produced a deep wound that left with the bone of his left knee exposed. The Catalan also fractured his right hand and injured 2 toes on his left foot in the incident. Rabat was taken to the track's medical centre before being transferred by ambulance to a hospital in the nearby town of Putrajaya. He will return to Europe on Tuesday evening, so he's already had treatment. He's already back in Europe, in Barcelona, as well as the final day of running. It's likely the rider from Barcelona could be forced to miss the next pre-season testing, which does take place in 2 weeks' time at the Phillip Island circuit in Australia. So overall, not really what you want for the Mark VDS team, and I'm sure Michael Barthelemy and everybody from Team Australia Galicia and us here at HMSB News will wish Tito Rabat a speedy recovery and get back out on the circuit before the season begins in Qatar. So that is pretty much it for the test that happened in Sepang. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Check out the links down in the bottom left hand corner of your screens. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.